day goes by and I'm back at the literature club. The usual scene greets me, one I'm growing more and more comfortable with. Yuki's face is buried in a book. The closet door stands ajar, presumably with Naruki somewhere behind it, and Satori's smiling visage is headed straight for me.
Hi, Kozukura!
Hey!
You got here just in time to accompany me.
Accompany you where?
I thought I'd go get something from the snack cart over in the quad.
Oh, no thanks.
What?
I had a big lunch.
Well, you should still come with me. For fresh air, you know?
Fresh air? I just got here. How stifling do you think this club room is?
It's important. You're about to embark on a mental journey of appreciation and awakening. You should... What's the air version of hydrate? Aerate!
Let me see your wallet, Satori.
What? Why?
Humor me. I just want to see your wallet. I'm curious. Satori takes out his wallet, opens it, and turns it upside down. 3 sad, lonely little yen tumble out onto the desk. I knew it!
Knew what?
You. I know you, Satori. If you had enough money, you would have gone and got a snack on the way here yourself.
That's not...
So either you weren't hungry at all and just wanted an excuse to take a walk with me, or you knew you didn't have enough money and were planning on not saying anything till we got to the snack cart and asking me to buy for you.
Fine, you win! You don't gotta make me feel guilty!
Huh? Sorry, I wasn't eavesdropping. Just something in my book.
Yuki! Make Kozukura lend me money for a snack.
Sorry, Satori. You should only buy what you can responsibly afford. And you shouldn't try and scam your friends. I think your hunger and guilt are fitting retribution.
Oof.
I meant that less harshly than it came out.
I like times when you're unfiltered, Yuki. They're rare, but fun to see.
You're kidding, right?
Nope, I do. So there. And you're right. I try to pull a fast one, so I will take my revolution with grace.
Retribution.
What did I say?
Nothing. Never mind. It's weird watching you get up to mischief. I guess we all have a little devil inside us.
Satori's inner devil's cleverest trick is convincing us all he doesn't exist. This boy knows exactly what he's doing. Remember, he told you all he was bringing me to this club before he even mentioned it to me.
Okay, yeah. But you wouldn't have come if it weren't for the cupcakes, so I had to trick Naruki into making them.
It worked. You knew it would. That's exactly my point. If you hadn't... Something streaks through the air and bounces off Satori's face, then lands on the desk.
Ow! What the? Hey, a cookie!
He snatches it up off the desk. It's a cookie, all right. A giant one wrapped in plastic. Holding it in both hands, he glances around, awestruck.
Is this a miracle? Did I get a Jesus cookie for paying my restitution?
Oh my god! Retribution!
Actually, that one works.
I was just gonna give it to you. And then you started running your mouth about the cupcakes. Jesus cookie.
Naruki! Don't ever let anyone tell you you're not the best. You made my day!
Satori hugs the cookie for some reason.
Oh, okay, you're being weird.
Jeez, just eat it.
So good.
What?
And then my tongue.
You're turning eating a cookie into a saga.
Poem idea. Saga of the Jesus Cookie. Naruki brings out his own cookie and begins munching away.
Ooh, white chocolate macadamia.
No, peanut butter, dummy.
I mean yours.
Eat your peanut butter.
But yours is white chocolate macadamia.
I know. That's why I gave you the peanut butter.
Fine, fine. Still, I'm very thankful for this one.
Satori gets up and goes over to stand behind Naruki's chair. He leans down and hugs the shorter boy around the shoulders.
Thank you!
Jeez, I get it. You're welcome, weirdo.
Cookie still in hand, Naruki reaches up to nudge Satori off him. Suddenly, Satori leans down just a little more to take a big bite out of Naruki's cookie.
Dude, did you seriously just?
Devious deed done, Satori scampers away to safety.
You're such a child. Monako! Satori bit my... Huh?
He glances around the club room and I do the same. Monako is nowhere in evidence.
Where even is he?
I don't actually know. Did he talk to any of you? It's not like him to be late.
Not me.
No.
Definitely strange.
You guys think he's okay?
Of course he's okay. He probably just had something to go do and forgot about us. He's pretty popular, you know.
Whoa, wait a minute, guys. Do you think maybe he has a girlfriend?
I'd honestly be surprised if he didn't. The pretty boy.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. Hi. Sorry guys. I'm here.
There you are.
You came!
This is so embarrassing. I'm really sorry. I hate that I made you wait.
Don't worry, we're just thrilled you chose us over your girlfriend. You're so dedicated.
Huh? Girlfriend? What on earth are you talking about?
He glances quizzically at me. Satori being Satori, that's all. What kept you?
Oh, just stuff is all. What did I...
Just stuff. It is a girlfriend, isn't it?
No. I was in study hall. I just got caught up in the middle of something and lost track of time. That's it. I was practicing guitar.
Guitar? I didn't know you played music too, Monako.
I don't, really. Not yet. I'm still pretty new to it, but I've always wanted to learn to play guitar.
That's so cool! You should play something for us!
I wouldn't subject you to that. Not yet.
He looks at me, smiling a little.
Once I get better.
I'd like that a lot.
Then it's settled. I won't let you down, Kosakura.
No pressure.
Don't worry, I've been practicing a lot. Once I get it right, I'll bring it in and show you.
Alright!
Cool.
Looking forward to it.
So, what did I miss?
Nothing really. I leave out Satori's mischief, figuring if Naruki's actually upset about it, he'll bring it up with Monako privately. The club is already settling back into normalcy. Yuki is back to his book, Satori talks with Monako, and Naruki has disappeared back into the closet. Hey, Yuki.
Yes.
I notice he's reading a different book from the one we're reading. Something with weird-looking naked people tangled up to form the shape of a face? Whoa. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Not at all. I was actually just waiting for you.
Oh, good. Well, here I am. I brought the book and everything.
Excellent. Though, come to think of it, would you mind horribly if we made tea before we got started?
No, I don't mind.
Great. Nothing enhances my reading experience like a good cup of tea. And, as I've recently discovered, good company.
I follow him over to the closet. He reaches up to a high shelf and pushes aside an overly colorful box of kids' books, then takes down a pitcher and electric kettle.
Here, hold this, please.
Okay. He hands me the pitcher and goes over to the teacher's desk to plug in the kettle. In watching him, I'm struck by how smooth and meticulous his motions are. I would expect someone his height and age to be gangling and ungainly, but he looks so fluid and refined. Even in something as simple as moving a chair out of his way or adjusting the dial on his kettle. I thankfully catch myself staring before he does and look to the pitcher in my hands.
Now we need to fetch some water.
Jack and Jill, that's us.
Let's go.
Hey, where are you guys going?
Oh, Yuki's gonna make some tea, so we're going to go and get water? It sounds weird. I realized that before I'm even done saying it. For the pitcher, right? To fill for the tea?
I see. Yuki, you've been making tea all semester. I don't recall filling the pitcher requiring 2 people.
It's very low pressure and easy to do. Leaves me with time and attention to butt into other people's business. Kind of like whatever you do here in the club.
Whoa, Yuki.
Are you about to tell me it's bad to involve Kozukura in club activities?
I'm just reminding you, we are in fact still at school. Administration trusts me to run this club, and so, when I see 2 people heading off together somewhere, naturally, I have to ask...
And what a stellar job. You asked your questions, and now you have your answer. We are going for some water. Excuse us.
Monako stays where he is, regarding Yuki with an expression of shocked puzzlement. Yuki shoulders his way past out of the club room. I hurry after him. Yuki? He's standing down the hall a little ways when I catch up to him, staring at the floor.
I let my mouth escape me. Second day in a row of me doing something completely uncalled for. How could I say something like that?
I think you were in the right.
It was just... I don't know. Something about the way he spoke to us, something about his manner just rubbed me the wrong way.
It was none of his business. He had no right to come at you like that.
I have a question.
What?
How come even when I do something horrible, you still stand with me?
Because the things you see in yourself as horrible aren't a fraction as bad as you think they are. Nobody's perfect, but you tend to turn a mildly uncomfortable breeze into a tsunami.
It sounds exhausting to have to deal with.
It's what friends do.
Friends.
Slowly, his eyes lift to meet mine. His stare is deep and probing. It's almost unsettling, but I imagine he's not used to whatever is developing between us.
I really like being friends with you.
Yeah, me too. So, how about that water?
Water. Yes, of course.
We fill up the pitcher at the nearest water fountain and head back to the club room.
Do you like oolong tea?
I'm not too particular. He fills the kettle from the pitcher and depresses the little power lever down by the base of it, then swaps out the other pitcher for a clay teapot painted with splashes of stars and night-blooming cereus. That's really pretty.
Thank you. I made it in pottery class.
Who painted it?
I did.
He's so full of surprises. He's like the holiday house. He methodically measures out some tea leaves. There's more after that. A good deal of tapping, stirring, and measuring he apparently has down to a science. And all the while he smiles and hums. Who is this creature? And what did it do with Yuki? You're in a good mood.
I was thinking after spending yesterday with you, perhaps I could be more expressive. This is my first experiment in not damming everything up inside. And you noticed?
I did.
It's easier than I imagined. Particularly when I'm with you.
That's great, Yuki. Don't push yourself too hard, though. Baby steps, okay?
You're always concerned for my well-being. It's deeply endearing, you know.
Oh, It's not bad, but it is different. It might take some getting used to, this new Yuki who wears his wishes on his sleeve and doesn't mince words.
Let's sit over here this time.
He leads me to a stack of mats off in a far corner. It's pretty isolated, but it looks way more comfortable than the desk chair. It isn't long before we're sitting close behind the Thief of Always again. Turned pages passing between our hands like whispered secrets. He's completely engrossed in the story, which leaves me to enjoy his closeness at my leisure. He is the perfect reading companion, giving subtle intakes of breath at sudden developments, heartbeats slow and sedate during lulls in the action, tensing almost imperceptibly against my back and shoulder as tension rises in the story. I hold my teacup in my free hand, resting it on my leg while we read. We are at it for several minutes before I remember the treat I brought along to complement the tea. Chocolate? Hey, Earth to Yuki.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Chocolate?
I would love one.
I have a whole bag here. You can have as many as you want. He lifts the hand not holding the book, spying his own teacup in it and frowning down at it. Helplessly, he casts his eye around, finding nowhere to set it down.
I suppose I didn't think this through.
I got you. Here, open.
What?
Wider.
I think you...
I slip the chocolate past his lips and nudge it the rest of the way in with the tip of my finger. It's a little funny. Mr. Growl at Monako and lean all over his reading partner is flushed and awed when hand-fed chocolate.
Thank you.
Of course. Are you finished with this page?
I am finished.
I pop a chocolate of my own into my mouth and wash it down with a sip of oolong, then lean my head against Yuki's shoulder and focus back on the book. I'm amazed at how much fun this is. The narrative is engaging without being too simplistic, and the emerging themes are clear while remaining well short of preachy. I feel like even Naruki would get something out of it. Mm-hmm.
I would like another, if you don't mind.
Of course. His lips are soft against my fingertips, his breath a warm breeze ghosting over the back of my hand. I feel the nudge of his tongue sliding between my skin and the chocolate, then stealing it away into his mouth. A chill passes up my arm and down my back. Yuki.
One more, please.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Oh, okay.
Okay, everyone.
Hey, take it easy.
Poem time.
Hey,
Hi.
is that today's poem?
'Tis in fact the plane on which did the traveler leave her mark, spill her soul.
What?
Yes, Naruki, this is today's poem. Would you like to see it?
Sure, I guess so. Well, it's not as bad as your first one, I guess. I get the feeling you're actually trying here.
I am. Thank you for noticing.
But I still don't like it. It's trying way too hard.
What do you mean?
It's just so many words. Doesn't really seem to say much. It definitely doesn't say as much as it should with how long it is. It's a dinner plate with like one meatball and a whole bunch of parsley.
What?
Exactly. I could have just said too much stuff with not enough substance. Instead, I got all meteorical and stuff.
Meteorical?
Yeah, it's when you use meteors instead of just saying what you mean.
Metaphor. The figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action which it is not literally applicable.
Yeah, fine. Anyway, you should probably build up to this. Until you're on Yuki's level, it just comes off as... Wait.
He scans the page one more time, then stares at me hard.
Oh god, don't tell me.
Tell you what?
Gross! You're just trying to impress Yuki!
Shh! What? Keep keep your voice down! Jeez!
He'd be all about this. This gothy fluff and... Oh, alas my lost Lenore. And oh, how come there are only 12 black roses in a dozen?
Look, just because he's really talented
Oh, please.
and tall...
I'm so done with you. Take your stupid poem. If you're writing for someone else, then I don't even want to see it.
and tantalizing and timid. Maybe I'll try more alliteration in my next poem. Sorry, what was that? My poem is back in my hand and I don't know how it got there. I look up just in time to see Naruki ducking back into the closet. Rude. But I guess that's what I get for asking kids what they think of my work.
You got a poem, you got a poem, you got a poem, hey, 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 hey!
Yes, I got a poem. Jeez, what are you even singing?
I saw it in a movie one time. Anyway, let me see! I love your writing, Kozakura. I don't recognize any of these places you take me to, but what a journey it is every time.
Is it better than yesterday's? I want to get really good at this.
Well, I'm not great at good or bad. Some writing makes me feel like I'm on top of the world, that the clouds are my carpet, and the sun itself is my oyster. Others are like an autumn storm, all rain clouds and dimness that leave you aching for the next sunrise. And I love both. I love poems that can make me feel things, like yours.
That's pretty. Very poetic.
I should write it down before I forget it then. Here, you can read my poem while I do. Jars. My hands get dirty when I reach down inside, but it's where lies the treasure that makes me rich. Jewels of hope, of light, of love, gleaming, glittering in the gloom. I take one in my sooty grasp, how it shines, and into a jar it goes, and onto the shelf goes the jar. A ruby for you to find your passion, a sapphire to clear your stormy skies, an emerald for the lushness of your harvest. Jewels in jars, all in a row. I keep them here for all my friends, each one to cheer or make amends. So when you feel a certain way, down comes a jar to save the day. Night after night, more dreams. Friend after friend, more jars. My fingers are sticky and red, delving deep into heart and head. Dig, scrape, ow, more. Let them in. They're at the door. I curated these for all of you. They're for all of you. If you'll all just smile. But the shelf tilts. The jars break. My jewels were scattered on the floor. A cracked ruby that seeps crimson. A flawed sapphire reflecting tears. An emerald gone brown and lifeless.
Satori, did you really write this?
Of course I did! I told you yesterday you were gonna love it!
I do, but God, Satori, I never expected something like this from you. You're always so happy.
Monaco's been helping me a lot, and I've been really exploring my feelings lately.
I see that. It came out really good. You should be proud of it.
Thanks, Kozakura! I really feel like I found a passion for this writing thing. And hearing that you think I'm good at it is all the more reason to pursue it. I'll keep writing till the day I die!
Well, this is a good start.
Is it my turn now?
It sure is. Do you like it?
Kozakura, I wouldn't have thought it possible. But this might be even better than what you showed me yesterday.
You're exaggerating.
I assure you I'm not.
It's largely thanks to you, you know.
I didn't do anything. I suppose I couldn't. I was so taken aback by how good you were.
You let me read your poem. It inspired me, showed me things I could work on to get better.
You found inspiration in my writing?
I did. It was similar to what I originally had in mind, but you showed me how I could expand on it. Really widen the focus to make it encompass so much more. You remember? Show, don't tell.
Very well. It is one of the core tenets of my philosophy as a writer.
Mine too, though I didn't remember it until I read your last poem. That was you. He swallows visibly. His normally brooding expression softened and nonplussed.
I am unaccustomed to this.
To what? He is quiet for a long time, staring intently down at my poem. I let him collect his thoughts, reluctant to rush him. I've never seen him as bold and outgoing as he's been today, and I wonder if it's beginning to catch up with him.
Being appreciated. It might seem peculiar, even trivial, but seeing you taking inspiration from my writing it just makes me very happy.
Have you not shared it with anyone else?
No.
That's a shame.
Up till now, I've written primarily for myself. Plus, they would just laugh.
Even your close friends? Instead of answering, he passes his own poem to me.
It happened in the dead of night, while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. A fetching raven swooped in through the window and landed on my countertop. It was then that I first felt the stirring. I allowed her the bread she desired, knowing well what I had done, knowing well a fed raven would never fly far. The siren song of my slicing edge was the symptom, the bread, my hungry curiosity, the raven, an urge. Luna's yellow eye reflects off the perfection of the blade. That light shows too in the eye of my raven mistress. She trembles with excitement when I slice, or do I simply project? As predicted, she is never far from me now. She calls her demands, I rush to appease. I slice the bread, the blood rushes, and she and I both drink deeply.
My goodness.
I suppose I was more blunt with this one.
You certainly were. I'm hearing heavy echoes of Poe here.
How very astute. I did draw inspiration from the raven, yes. It is thanks to him I now understand the darker parts of my own psyche and no longer fear them.
It could go one of several ways in my mind, but I'm curious what you meant to get across with it.
It's about the feeling I get when I engage in some of my more unusual hobbies. Indulging the raven, if you prefer. Words like guilty, siren song, stirring. These are all to indicate that the urge as represented by the raven might be distasteful to most. Never mind the fact that we all have our own ravens.
You certainly eat chocolate more intensely than anyone I've ever seen.
Yes, allow me to apologize for that. I don't know what came over me.
That's okay.
Well, there she is.
Here I am. Hi, Monako.
How's it going?
Surprisingly, I think it's going really well.
Why is that surprising?
I didn't think I would like writing. Turns out I'm having a blast.
Excellent. I'll take it.
Yeah, you will. Feast your eyes on this.
Let's see. Okay. This one's good. You really seem to be coming into your own here. It's searching but not lost. It's a little longer but doesn't drag. And I noticed that your use of imagery is far more prevalent. Tell me, have you been finding inspiration in Yuki's writing style?
I guess I have. He's really talented.
Without a doubt. This may sound strange, but there's something romantic in the way he writes, isn't there? It's not just me, is it?
I find myself wondering what Monaco's idea of romance is. On its face, the suggestion seems crazy. Knives and ravens and broken glass does not a romance make. And yet, in a non-traditional sense maybe, there's something intimate about it. Whether he's conversing directly with the reader or just talking about something like with what he wrote today. There's a sort of togetherness to it. Is that a word?
It is, and you're absolutely right. Yuki is making an exchange with his reader, whether he realizes it or not. There's a sort of pining quality to it. It's like a broken heart, with the missing piece facing outwards, waiting for you to complete it by adding your own. To be honest, reading his poems makes me feel closer with him than direct conversation.
Do you and he talk a lot?
Not really. I mean, I do, but I don't get much by way of reply. It can be kind of frustrating.
What are you saying, Monako?
Nothing. I just wish he was a little more personable at times. There's a lot going on in that head of his. I wish he would share more of it with us. You weren't about to let that go, were you? You must be pretty into him.
Huh? You completely misunderstood what I...
I'm teasing you, don't worry. Besides, I'm pretty sure he already has a girlfriend.
Wait. Really?
Oh yes, a body pillow, a creepy drawing, maybe a character in some kind of Ow! Okay, maybe I deserved that.
Maybe you did. Where's your poem anyway?
Oh, of course. Here you go. I really like the way this one came out. I hope you do too. Come with me. Ever onward go these roads. Scenic, direct, straight, winding, through smooth triumphs and over potholed rough patches, T intersections and four-way stops. Why then am I so confined? Why can't I move? Here a dead end, there a road under construction sign, a passing train or crossing gate boxes me in. Should I go back? Which way is back? Which way is forward? Which way is... Choose me.
It's about being lost, or stuck maybe. Trapped somewhere with infinite choices, and none of them going anywhere.
I like to imagine the narrator thinking aloud, placing them in the situation that inspired the poem, would shape the way he speaks, and thus the way I write. If yesterday's poem was about a dawning realization, then today's poem is about struggling with the perception altered by it. Remember I told you I had an epiphany recently?
I remember.
Imagine learning something that just changes your entire perspective on life. Everything you thought you knew is not... well, it's different. And you can go on, but you're still weighed down with that knowledge.
That's pretty dark too. I think it also yearns for something from your audience. You and Yuki might have more in common than you think.
You're closer than you think with that statement. So, here's Monaco's writing tip of the day. Sometimes we find ourselves traveled too far down a predetermined route. In some cases, we're lucky enough to have the option to double back and try again. It could be as easy as hitting back on the browser and trying something else. There are so many different options to be explored after all. Why would we stick to one when another could be so much better? Wait, is this tip even about writing? What am I even talking about right now? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Okay, everyone. Poem time's up. Let's all get to the front of the room here. We've got a little extra today.
Everyone takes a seat up near him.
Is this about the festival?
Yup, it's coming up mighty quick.
Man, do we really have to do something for the festival? It's not like we're gonna be able to come up with anything good in just a few days. We're going to embarrass ourselves.
I admit it, I share Naruki's trepidation. My strength does not lie in improvisation under time constraints.
Guys, don't worry so much. We got this. We'll just keep it simple. We get some light decorations, Satori made posters, I've got a few test designs for pamphlets to hand out during the event. We'll be fine. We'll be performing.
Performing?
Monako.
That's right. Each of us will choose a poem to recite during the event. And for the sake of sharing the stage with potential new members, we'll be allowing others to come up and share poems too. Satori's got it all outlined on the posters.
Satori holds up a mostly finished poster he had been working on.
Boom!
You're kidding. Did you already start hanging those up?
Huh? I did. Satori and I have been posting these up all over school for the last 2 days. Do you really hate the idea that much?
No, but I didn't sign up for this. I can't read my poetry in front of people.
I agree. Reading aloud? My poems? In front of strangers?
Yuki visibly trembles.
Hey, come on. Why can't we just...
No, Satori. I get it. These two have never even shared their poetry before we started doing it here in the club. They're not as used to public speaking as you and me. I didn't consider that. I'm sorry. But I still think we should try. No one will promote or care about the club except us. And if we don't, nobody will even know about it. We graduate, and it just dies.
Monaco's expression is somber for a moment as he regards us all.
But if we open the event and do as well as I know we all can, it'll inspire others to do the same. And the more people we reach, the better our chances at growing the literature club. I know we have it in us, every one of us, to show the school what this club is about.
Right! It's about self-expression and creativity. Here's where we learn new things about ourselves and each other and have fun doing it.
Exactly. You all know the joys of being here, the feelings and experiences that keep us coming back. It's unrivaled, and the greatest thing we could possibly share with our fellow students. And if all it takes to open that door for them is to stand up in front of the room for 2 minutes and read a poem, there's no excuse not to.
Naruki and Yuki remain silent. Satori looks concerned. Monako is stalwart. Where does that leave me? Monako, you owe me. I agree. Naruki and Yuki turn to regard me. I don't think it's too much to ask. Satori and Monako have been working really hard. They formed this club, they run it really well, and now they want to focus on growing it. I think it's fair we do our part. Naruki fidgets and squirms in his seat a moment, but comes up with nothing.
Fine. I guess I'll just have to get it over with.
That's the spirit!
Excellent. Thanks, Naruki. Yuki?
Yuki looks dejectedly around at everyone else. Silently, he nods.
That's everyone! You're the best, Yuki!
This club is seriously going to be the death of me.
Oh, hush. You're going to be great, Yuki. Moving right along, I want everybody to select a poem to read. We're going to practice reciting in front of each other.
Monako, this is too much. Too soon.
Guys, if you can't do it in front of the club, how are you going to do it in front of others?
Oh, God.
Here, I'll go first. Maybe it'll help you all feel more comfortable.
Oh, me next!
Okay, you next. This one is called Carry You.
Monaco's clear, confident voice fills the room. His diction is flawless, his inflection pristine. He knows just how to usher his audience along, imbuing his words with force, acquiescence, and invitation where required. It is easy to imagine how persuasive he must have been in debate club, his firm effectiveness in his role as student council president, and who knows what else saw him standing before a crowd. I look around me. Everyone has their eyes on Monako. Satori looks amazed. Yuki is looking at him with an intense expression I don't understand. Naruki's jaw is slack. Finally, he finishes. The four of us enthusiastically applaud. Monako takes a breath and smiles, collecting his notebook and vacating the podium.
Thank you.
That was so good! What even was that?
Nothing that any of you can't also do. I promise you that. Speaking of which, are you ready?
Actually, I'd like to go next.
Hey, go Yuki!
Yuki clutches a sheet of paper between his hands. His eyes on his feet, he stood where Monako had previously.
This poem is called...
Come on, Yuki! You got this!
It's called... Yes. This poem poem is called, the Hanging Tree.
Yuki's voice shakes as he begins reading. A few minutes ago, he flatly refused to try, and I take a moment to wonder what changed. It's taking a lot out of him, but he is trying. A few lines in, his delivery changes. It's like what happens when he gets absorbed in his books. His back straightens, his voice smooths out. His poem is heavy with metaphor and dark imagery, carried along by his distinctive timbre. I suspect this is a glimpse of the real Yuki. The Yuki trapped behind his shy persona and fear of rejection. In this moment, there is no fear of rejection, no timidity, only a large and ornate tapestry woven of words, fortified by feeling and dark enough to encompass us all in its shroud. At the poem's conclusion, everyone is stunned. The silence in the wake of his voice stretches out for several seconds, then is shattered by our clapping. He looks around, seeming to have surprised even himself. Retrieving his poem, he holds it close to his chest and rushes back to his seat.
Yuki, absolutely inspiring. Where have you been hiding that?
Yuki says nothing, only holds his poem and stares at his desk. It seems whatever inner reserve he called upon to get through that is tapped out for now.
My turn!
Satori hops up and strides happily to the podium.
Okay, I call this one... Sorry. I laughed.
Satori...
I know. This is harder than I thought it would be. How do you guys do it?
Picture the audience in their underwear.
Does that actually help focus? No, it most certainly does not. Horrible idea!
Alright, imagine you're reciting for yourself. Don't think about us. The poem passing from its creator to its intended recipient without unwelcome ears should make things easier.
Okay. This poem is called Petals.
Somehow, it seems Petals is a perfect match for Satori's voice. It isn't aimlessly cheery the way he tends to be. It's serene and bittersweet. If I read it on paper, I wouldn't think much of it, but hearing it in his voice brings a whole new dimension to it. He finishes, and we clap.
Very well done, Satori. The atmosphere of the piece was perfect for your delivery, though it might be that other poems of yours might not fit as well.
I don't understand.
You've written other poems where that kind of delivery wouldn't work. They would require more force behind them.
Oh, got it! I've been working on that too. It's a little embarrassing though, so I thought I'd start with this.
Then for the next one, I'll have you pick a poem that challenges you a bit more. We have to get this just right, and the festival's only a few days away.
Aye, Captain!
Now, Naruki.
Don't make me go before Kazokura.
What?
All of you are so much freaking better than me. Might as well let Kazakura lower your standards a bit before I disappoint everyone.
Hey, Naruki.
It's fine. I'll go. I don't have much of a selection to pick from, so I'll just read what I wrote for today. I'm reminded by my thought of yesterday about how it should be illegal for all four of them to stare at me all at once. I stand by it. It's distracting, and I make a mental note to kill Monako again after killing him the first time for making us share poems. I recite mine anyway. While I'm growing more confident in my writing, this public recital thing is different. As I deliver my poem into attentive silence, I realize I hate my voice and wonder if they do too. I feel like I say too much, pause too often. Despite that, once I finish, I receive applause. Sorry, I know I'm not as good as everyone else.
I don't think that at all. It's less about your ability and more about your confidence. That will improve with time and practice, though. Think about it. When you had first joined us, you'd never even written a poem, and now you've written two, and even read one out loud.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'll be okay.
I think out of all of us, you'll be the most okay.
Huh?
Naruki, come on up and
Yeah, I'm going. Okay, so, This poem is called... It's called... Why is everyone looking at me?
Because you're presenting, Naruki.
Whatever. The poem is called... Climb.
Naruki takes a steadying breath. Once he gets started, some of his attitude melts away. He doesn't quite have Monako's presence, Yuki's way with imagery, or Satori's enthusiasm, but he has them all beat in rhythm and rhyme. It's definitely his style and works quite well when read aloud. The words bounce, the narrative rises, and ends at a concise high point.
See, that wasn't so bad.
Easy for you to say. You better not make me do it again.
Am I going to have to, or do you feel prepared enough to do that in front of other people?
Doing it in front of other people isn't the problem. I can be who I want and do it however I want with strangers. But when it's just you guys, when it's just my friends, it's harder.
That's really interesting. I think it would be the exact opposite for me.
I mean, that's good for you, I guess. For me, it's not that easy.
Well, I guess in that case, you have nothing to worry about next week. We're almost out of time, but listen, I wanted to thank every one of you for doing this. And I want you to know, I am so proud of you. I know it's hard, but each of you rose beautifully to the occasion. Make sure you all pick a poem and get enough practice before the festival. I'll be making pamphlets, so let me know ahead of time which ones you choose.
Oh, geez. I should probably pick a different poem to read. Maybe I'll do better if it's from an author I like.
That's all right. It doesn't have to be yours. I'm already surprised at how much effort you're putting into this.
Really?
It really makes me happy. Thank you, Kosakura.
There's that smile again. God, what was I just about to say? Oh, yeah. Of course. No problem.
Okay, everyone. That about does it for today. Let's try and write poems for tomorrow too, okay? It's been doing wonders for the club dynamic. As for the festival, we'll finish planning tomorrow and have all weekend to get ready. Monday is go day.
Oh man, I can't wait!
I gather my stuff to go home, mind racing. There's no way I'll be able to match Satori's and Monako's excitement. I already know this. But if it's for the sake of the club, and maybe getting Monako's attention, I'll just have to do my best. You ready, Satori?
Sure am.
Look at you two. Always going home together.
It's sweet, isn't it?
Jeez, you guys.
It must be nice.
Be nice, everyone. She's still a new member. Don't scare her away.
Even though it's only been a few days, so much has changed. I have a social life. I'm seeing my best friend a lot more. I have more crushes of varying intensity than I know what to do with. And then I notice how quiet Satori's being. Hey!
Hi, guys, what? Hi! Oh, sorry. I guess I was spacing out.
You okay?
I was thinking about something from earlier.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So let's just say, hypothetically, that one day, maybe Yuki asked to walk home with you.
What?
What would you do?
What kind of question is that? You're sort of putting me on the spot here, Satori.
I know, just humor me, okay? What would you do?
Walking home with Yuki. Why does the thought of that make my heart beat faster and the blood rush to my face? I mean, he'd probably be really devastated and embarrassed if I turned him down.
Isn't he so smart and creative and brooding?
That's besides the point.
Caught you!
Oh, whatever. Not like there's any point in thinking about it. Not like it'll ever happen.
Maybe, maybe not. I just like to think about it. You know, it won't be long until you don't need me anymore.
Need you? Satori, everyone is different. Not one of those boys in there could ever replace you. You know that, don't you?
Okay. If you say so.
Conversation trails off again. I'm left with questions. I have never seen this side of Satori before. What do I do? How do I move forward? My friend Satori seems to be struggling with something, but aren't we all? Every journey is bound to have its bumps and pitfalls. We'll explore mine further in day 4 of the Yuki route.